Based on my experience over 20 years in exec search, I see some common mistakes that people make which cost them landing their next job. But the biggest mistake I see that people make, and this is often the difference that makes the difference between landing that job and not, is the questions that the candidate asks the person interviewing the interviewer. You can tell way more about someone by the questions that they ask versus the story that they've regurgitated and stuff. Although it's important, I think the questions that you ask are way more. And I always think of it like an upside down triangle. Think of it like that. Top of the triangle, broad question around the company. What's going on? You can start to then narrow down. And then you can end with something like, what are the top 3 biggest things you want me to do in the first year? Or what does a great year look like for me? It shows, I think, way more about your thinking and inquisitiveness and all of that than, perfect answers to, cookie cutter questions or whatever it might be.